What's happening, sports fans? We got a great top recruit to talk to you right now. Tyson McWilliams is your male athlete of the year. Congratulations. A Saintsman in and up on top. How does this feel for you?
Yeah, it feels great. It's an honor to be a candidate, not alone win, and be voted by, people throughout the county as a top athlete in a county full of great athletics, boys and girls. So it was truly an honor.
Yeah, just over 11,000 votes cast online in the final tally. So the whole county seemed to turn out pretty decently to support you there. Um, Multiple sport athlete, you are more known as a football player, perhaps just because that's what you're going to go on to play in college, but you are also a basketball player. You played multiple sports, at a very high open division level for St. Augustine. Just talk to us about what the last 4 years have been like.
It's been a lot of fun. Like you said, you're playing in the open division and, preseason top three in both sports throughout my 4 years, playing at a high level, playing teams out of state, in both sports and playing for two coaches that are well respected throughout the San Diego County. My sophomore year, Coach Sanchez, and then obviously a coaching legend and Coach Hop. Um, Playing in front of the pit and just the Saints community, it's unreal, and you don't realize that brotherhood until you step in or you're around the atmosphere, go to a game to you know truly notice that.
I like to ask every single person that either attended Saints or Cathedral to take us inside the Holy Bowl rivalry a little bit. You've lived multiple versions of it, like I said, football and basketball. Does one stick out versus the other? Does one Holy Bowl specifically stay out in your memory through all your time? Just whatever stories or insight you can share with us about that amazing rivalry and what that's been like from your point of view.
It's unreal. I didn't really notice it until you play in that game. Everyone would talk about it, but it doesn't really hit you until you play in it. The most memorable Holy Bowl for me in football is probably my sophomore year when we went up to Cathedral and beat them like 56 to something, and that was my first year on varsity and my first Holy War, and I had a 90-yard pick six, and that was kind of my favorite moment playing in those games.
I apologize for saying Holy Bowl and not or Holy Bowl instead of Holy War. Holy heck, I am sorry. I know
Okay.
that everyone takes that a little seriously. Also, pronunciation of Saint Augustine. That's another one that you guys take a lot of pride in. I apologize for having butchered that over the last couple of years. You're going to be going on to the next level to play football at the University of California, Berkeley. What was the decision to become a Bear?
Um, I always as a kid wanted to play in the Pac-12, and when I got to Saints, I kind of, I noticed and learned along the way how important academics are for you. Um, Obviously, football and sports are going to end for all of us, and it's really what you get out of the degree and, you know, life after football. And honestly, Cal was one of the first schools to reach out to me my sophomore year and notice kind of my potential at defensive back. And Coach Gerald Alexander, the guy who recruited me, did a great job. I went up to visit, took an official back in October, I believe, and it just felt like the right choice for me and my family, and to give me the best chance at a future in football and just life in general.
So I hope you take this as a compliment. We've had you on the show a couple of times, and your answer there kind of hints at you're a pretty eclectic dude. You like a lot of different things. You're pretty well versed and well educated in a lot of subjects. This downtime has to have had you doing something new, something fun, something crazy, or interesting or different. What have you been up to for the last 40 days?
I actually I got a dog for Christmas, a poodle puppy, so she's been keeping me pretty busy with the family and stuff like that. Other than that, just reading a lot, doing a lot of homework and staying on top of my stuff. And I'm in the middle of rehab, so been getting my shoulder right, going to physical therapy, and really doing my workouts from home. Just trying to stay focused and stay calm during all this craziness.
So how is it going with the dog?
Oh, she's great. She's great. She's getting big. Been taking her on walks and runs and stuff.
Well, I was going to say, this is the one
I
time.
got her a couple.
I apologize for cutting you off there.
I got her a
Go
couple.
ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I got her a couple days after I signed, so we named her Berkeley because she's a brown poodle and looks like a bear. So her name's Berkeley.
Oh, that's perfect. That's awesome. And that is definitely
So
not a recruiting violation of any sort or anything like that, because I know the coaching staff totally didn't send the dog his
no.
way right before Christmas. This seems like probably the perfect time because you can always take her on walks and all that kind of stuff, and you can stay busy. Um, what is the go-to treat for the dog? Are you do you have a specific one that she likes the most?
Go to treat. I spoil the dog, so like in the morning when I make scrambled eggs or bacon, I usually slide an egg or two into her bowl. She loves that.
Yes, absolutely. I'm victim of that as well at breakfast time. Dinner also. Dogs eat very well around me
Yeah.
on frequency. Um, so I mean, you talked about the open division. You talked about the high level of competition. There's a lot of Division 1 talent starting to come out of San Diego in all directions. In the past week, we saw a bunch of over a dozen guys either get drafted or signed to the NFL. I know that you've said that you're thinking beyond football with your decision to go to Cal, but you got to be pretty excited seeing that, thinking, I'm headed to the Pac-12. Like there could be some opportunity here because other guys from San Diego are doing it. What's your mindset there?
Um, I it is exciting. You obviously do take notice. A good friend of ours, Terrell Burgess, went to Los Angeles Rams, and I looked up to him as a kid. He played with my brother, and planning on going to San Marcos when I was in middle school, so I'd be at every game watching Terrell. And then obviously two of Cal's DBs got drafted in this last draft, and seeing a lot of corners, a lot of tall, lanky corners get paid in the first round and even beyond that in the draft overall. But it's super exciting. Even my dad, it's brought that to my notice. But it's a lot of work to get to that level. So I'm excited for that possibility playing in the Pac-12. And I mean, I'm truly excited. Yeah.
All I'm saying is that I look forward to playing as you in a video game someday. Um,
I appreciate that.
I think we all get kind of awe inspired by me. I mean, Damian Williams winning a Super Bowl locally. Did you grow up a Chargers fan?
I did. I
Will
did.
you play for the Chargers if they draft you?
Of course.
Okay, fair enough. I
Of
didn't.
course.
I don't know who is still bitter and who isn't bitter.
Of course.
They got the new uniforms too, which are kind of nice. They're
Yeah.
kind of saucy. Cal's uniforms though, not too bad. I do want to ask you. That brings up. We have been kind of debating best uniforms over the last month on our Instagram. What's your favorite of the Saints looks that you guys rock?
Favorite of the Saints. I definitely go all white. All white,
Gold helmet,
gold helmet. Yes,
all
sir.
white, purple letters, gold numbers.
Yes, sir.
That's nice.
That's my favorite. You throw on some, all white cleats, or I'd wear all gold cleats with the white, all white, and then have a gold helmet and gold cleats.
I get the sense that you probably have more than just that one pair of cleats. How big is the
Yeah.
collection?
It kind of got out of hand. My basketball and football career, I went through a lot of different shoes. Especially on the basketball court, I try to not wear the same shoe 2 games in a row. Change it
Speak
up a little bit.
Speaking of basketball, you've been watching the Michael Jordan documentary.
I have. I've been tuned in every time they release them. Those
So
are
so what's the take on that from somebody that you were not around, you weren't alive when Jordan was playing and when this was
mhm.
all happening? What is your reaction or interpretation? How do you soak that version of basketball in?
Um, obviously you got to look at it as respect. Like you said, we didn't grow up watching him. My kids my age, but we'd always hear from our parents about how different Jordan was in every aspect of the game. And just watching the first 4 episodes, you see like how he wasn't caught up in anything besides his game. Like he wanted to perfect his craft and be the best. And the what I got out of it is he liked when people told him he couldn't do certain stuff. And like that's kind of my mindset too, because a lot of people told me like I couldn't even play 2 sports Saints at a high level or even play Division 1 football. And
And look at that.
I
You're
feel
playing.
it.
You're going to go play D1 football, and you're the athlete of the year. Um, what about the physicality of the game? Because I know that you already get beaten up and bruised pretty good in some high school basketball games, but I mean, those guys were playing kind of full contact basketball. Would you, as a football player, like to see a little bit more physicality allowed in basketball, or are you fine with it being two separate universes?
I definitely think the physicality is good in football. I mean, when you make that transition, when you're a guy from playing defense, high school football on defense, you're jamming people off the line, you're coming up and making tackles, all that, and then you transition to basketball where you can barely touch a guy on defense. So I would definitely like to be playing basketball like during a time like that as a defensive player, and get away with a little bit more.
Also, the concept of Chibuzo just flying through the key and just clearing it out and just taking only one foul to just kind of like, I'm gonna knock out everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of visually appealing. Just
exactly.
something about that sounds really right. So congratulations again on being student athlete of the year. We just like to always close out with, especially people from St. Augustine. What does the brotherhood have meant? What has the brotherhood meant to you? What would you, if you were back in front, and maybe if this was graduation, what would you say to everybody? I know this is kind of a loaded question right now, but I mean, what's the thing that really sticks out about what you are going to remember or miss from Saints?
Um, you know, I get this question a lot just because, people are always curious about it, but I could go on and on forever about the brotherhood and the Saints community. But the one thing I would get from my high school experience is just cool in its community. As you can see, like anything I've been nominated for, they hop on the votes. They're out there reposting, calling people, and they just really support a small community or like even a relationships that you'll have forever. Like a lot of those guys will be like in my weddings and like vice versa like that. Like guys I could call anytime down the road for anything.
Well, lifelong bonds and memories certainly sound like something that was worth going there for. Sounds like that was definitely a solid takeaway from 4 years at St. Augustine. Tyson McWilliams, your student athlete, your male student athlete of the year. Congratulations again. Congratulations on UC Berkeley and on getting healthy. My man, thank you very much for being on with us. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.